Hello, this is part two for um, English 101 Fall 2020 at Naugatuck Valley Community College. This is the overview of how to use Blackboard and an overview of the course. If you haven't watched part one, it's only 10 minutes long. Please watch that. And if you don't have a 10-minute attention span, then watch it twice in two 5-minute periods. Okay, but watch that before you watch this because this won't make much sense to you unless you've already watched the first part. So we've logged onto ComNet at nv.edu. You've got my ComNet. You're going to log in. You'll put in your ID number, and then yours will say student.comnet.edu. Mine says NVCC because I'm a teacher. Log in, put your password in, stay signed in. Great. Okay, so this is the landing page for my ComNet. First thing is register to vote online. Okay, you need to vote. If you're a U.S. citizen and you are over the age of 18, you should register to vote and you should vote. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Well, sort of. Yeah, but you need to vote. Okay, you need to go out and vote. Voting booths will be open on Tuesday, November 3rd from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that's 15 hours of voting time, or 8 p.m. So it's 14 hours of voting time. You can find time to go vote. Yeah, enough said about that. Okay, over here we have the banner student and faculty self-service. This is something that you want to be checking a couple times a semester. This is where you register for courses, where you can add and drop classes, where you can make sure that you're fulfilling your degree requirements. We can get you transcripts, where you can find out if you owe money or they're going to give you some money back, and evaluate teachers and all that other stuff. And this is also where you get your grades at the end of the semester. Yep, so you should make sure that you are familiar with this area. The thing that you're going to need to really be familiar with is Blackboard. Blackboard is a learning management system that is used by Naugatuck Valley Community College and thousands of colleges around the United States and around the world. You have to know how to use it. We're in a new situation with the virus. And there's no telling how long we're going to have to stay online for. As you know, in Danbury, there was an uptick in cases because people weren't practicing safe social distancing. And this is going to be the way it is for quite some time. So, in my opinion, I don't think we're going to be back in January on campus. It may be next September, so September 2021, if we're back at all on campus. So you need to kind of just get used to using Blackboard. And you're going to find that it's actually really convenient to use because you don't have to go anywhere, right? You can study wherever you happen to be. So kind of get used to it. If you've learned to use social media, if you can use Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Tinder and all those other social media things, you can easily learn to use Blackboard. Okay, there's no excuse why you can't learn to use it. All right, it'll take time, like everything, but once you learn how to use it, it'll be easy, and you'll appreciate that everything is easy to find and at your fingertips if you want it to be. Okay, so let's take a look at Blackboard. So click on Blackboard. Right, so when you come into Blackboard, first thing you'll always notice is the mobile apps for your phones. Get them. Okay, you cannot expect to use your phones as the primary way of doing work. Writing an essay on a phone is like honestly the worst idea I've heard in a long time as far as academic stuff goes. Taking a test on the phone probably comes in a close second, if not tied. All right, you use your phone app to keep up to date with what's going on and to read, but you don't use it for producing or writing or taking a test or anything like that. Okay, if your phone is your primary computer, try to get an inexpensive Windows computer. Okay, you can get an inexpensive Chromebook or Windows computer at Walmart. I mean, that's where I get mine from. That's what I'm using right now. So HP. You don't need a fancy computer. It's going to get a virus. It's going to break, get stolen, whatever. So just get an inexpensive computer. Windows computers tend to be faster than Chromebooks. Chromebooks are originally were much cheaper, but now Chromebooks have gotten more expensive and Windows have come down in price. So if you can get a Windows, it'll make your life much easier. I have both, and I also have an iPhone, obviously, but the better deal is the Windows computer. Okay. Yeah, and then that's through many years of experience of doing this. Okay, let's take a look at the website. So you're in here in Blackboard. Find your course, and your course with me is English 101. There's 2 CRNs for this course. There's 3458 and 3583. Okay, there's 2 CRNs. 2 classes are combined together here. Okay, you'll be able to see on your schedule which CRN you are. Okay, over here on the underneath my name, Joshua Hausman, you'll see announcements. And I hate to break the news here, it's not going to get any less. I communicate frequently with you guys to make sure everybody knows what's happening and what's going on. And beginning next week, there'll be a video like this, quite possibly twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Okay, so if for some reason you're not able to come to the live classes on Blackboard Collaborate, you will be able to at least know what we're doing. And I'm going to do a lot of instructional stuff too, not just talking about stuff, but actually teaching you how to write using videos. Okay, so it'd be great if you could come. All right, so if you decide that you don't have time to look through everything and you just want to click on the announcement, you can always click on the announcement, and it'll bring you to the announcements. But I don't recommend it. I recommend always clicking on the title of the course, and it'll bring you to the landing page, which in our course is announcements. The newest announcements are always on top. Okay, and then there are the other announcements going back chronologically, back in time. I'm not gonna read all the announcements with you. That's really up to you to know what's in them and to apply what's in them. That's the important thing. It's not just reading them, but it's applying what's in them. Everything that I send is usually something that you have to take action on. So please make sure to be diligent about this and to really follow through. Okay. When there's an announcement that has a blue link on it, you want to click on that link, and that will take you to a specific section in the course, and there you'll see what you need to do. In this case here, it's a test or a quiz about consenting or not consenting to be recorded. Click begin and then choose you consent or you don't consent. I will get it automatically, and I'll talk about that more in a few minutes. Cancel that. Oops. Let's go back here. Oh, that was interesting. Zip me back to the wrong spot. Okay, so that's the announcements. The next section is the syllabus. This is the syllabus. This is the FERPA statement about being recorded and having your rights. You can read that on your own. The syllabus in PDF form is here, and then the syllabus is laid out here. I have decided that I'll give you all the books and all the materials, so you don't need to worry about that. You should take a look, though, at the, especially the stuff in red. Okay. And if you look down here at evaluation and grading, you're graded on 5 big essays. A nonfiction narrative, which is an autobiography. In this case here, it's going to be a cause and effect. A revised version of that, a summary, a revised version of summary, a description, a revised description, a chronological essay, a revised version of that, an argumentative or persuasive research essay, the final version of that, and also discussion boards. Now, some people believe that they can skip turning in the first version of an essay and only turn in the revised version. I want to say very clearly, that's why I'm putting it on so you can see me. Don't do this. You must hand in both versions of the essay. Okay? If you only hand in one version, it only counts as the first draft. I don't care if you're sending it in through the revised version link. No, it doesn't work that way. If you only hand in one version, you're only handing in the first draft, and that's going to be a failing grade for that essay pair, the first draft and revised version. If you want to get full credit, you have to hand in both versions of the essay. Okay? So don't think like, oh, I don't need to hand in the first draft. You do. And do you need to hand in the second draft? Yes, you do. Now, when it comes to handing in the second drafts, please wait for my feedback. Okay, I'm going to make a video feedback of everybody's essays. Okay, giving suggestions, right? Editing them with the video feedback. So the due dates for the first draft are hard due dates. Like the links are going to disappear within 6 to 12 hours after the due date and time. So if it says 11:59 p.m. on Sunday for it to be due, the link will probably be gone by probably no later than noontime on Monday. Okay, so please do not skip around on the due dates. Okay. And remember, you have to hand in both drafts. Right. Very serious about this. And also remember, has to be Word document. Now, if you hand in the first draft, this is where it gets, I become a little bit more reasonable. If you hand in the first draft, and if your first draft is great, like, like sparkly fingers and all that other stuff, if it's a really great first draft, and I don't think that you're going to really benefit from writing a revised version, then I'll say, hey, you're done. And you'll get an A for the first draft and an A for the revised version. So if you follow all the criteria, which I will show you how I lay out all the criteria, and do it right the first time on the first draft, you won't have to do the second draft, or may not have to do the second draft. I should say that. But if you skip the first draft and think that like, oh, I'm just going to write a really great second draft, no, it's not going to work that way. Okay, you've got to submit the first draft as a first draft. You can't submit the first draft as the revised version. Okay, if you don't understand that, please let me know, and I will try to figure out a different way to explain it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, if you do it right the first time, you won't have to do it a second time, as long as you get it in on the first draft dates. Okay, now another thing is that if you submit the first draft and the revised draft and you still don't earn an A on the revised draft, you can submit another draft. You can submit a third draft or a third version of any essay. Okay, It's really up to you how hungry you are for an A. Okay, you can revise any essay as many times as you want to earn an A. Okay, as long as you finish by the last day of class, which is, I think it's December 15th. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. You must submit a first draft, and it must be in Word. If you earn an A on the first draft, you do not need to do a second draft. If you do a second or revised version and you don't earn an A, then you will have to do, or you can choose to do, a third or a fourth draft. Okay. Great. Let's keep going. We'll talk about discussion boards in a minute. You can read the rest of this here, and you can take a look at down here at the due dates. Okay, first draft due dates and revised version due dates. Okay. I also want to mention Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Okay. We will be reading Eat That Frog. I've given you the free PDF version of the book, so you don't have to go out and buy it. It's strictly free. By Tuesday, September 1st, you should have up to chapter 4. By the 8th, you should have chapter 8. By the 15th, 12. By the 22nd, 16. And by the 29th of September, the conclusion. Okay. All right. So that's kind of the overview of the syllabus. The next section is Eat That Frog book and workbook. I've given you PDF versions of the book, the discussion guide, and the workbook. Okay. And here's the reading schedule. To get the PDF version, just click on it and it will open. You can do that, with the book. You can do this a couple ways. You can just read it online, which I don't recommend because you won't be able to read it, really devote time to reading it. You can download it, the PDF, and then read it off your computer. You could open it on your phone and read it on your phone. Any one of those ways works. Okay. Let's Eat That Frog. Next up is quizzes and tests. There will be some quizzes and some tests depending upon what progress we make during the Blackboard Collaborates and other situations. I don't know. I tend to put these together as I think we need them. The first one is consent to be recorded. So please make sure that you've done that. You either consent or not consent. Next is weekly modules. I've broken down all 17 weeks into weekly modules. And I will be populating them week by week because I don't want people to get too far ahead without first seeing the videos and getting the instruction. I've tried this before where I posted everything ahead of time and people have rushed right through, and it hasn't been beneficial to anybody. So I'm going to post things, generally speaking, by Sunday night. I'll have the next week's up. So for week 27, which was today, if you click in here, you can see that we have the objectives for this week. There's a very important video that I want you to watch called Academic Essays. This is the core video of the semester as far as like how to write the essay. Everything that I teach you by Blackboard Collaborate or by these videos is going to come off of this video. The guy who did this, who made this video, was like amazing. And I don't think I can top his video as far as the technology part of it goes. So I left it in here. You should absolutely watch it. Again, Eat That Frog. And then we have the first draft of your nonfiction narrative essay. All right. Really, follow this exactly as it's laid out. Print this off. This is a checklist. Okay. Really, just follow it exactly. Okay, exactly. Right. I'm going to provide a sample essay in another video, just to kind of get you guys going on it. Okay. Now the due date. That's about the only thing that I'm probably going to change. Is going to change, and I will talk about that in another video. But the due date's probably going to change because we didn't have class on Thursday. Okay, but it's still going to be due. So whether you do it for this Sunday or for later in the week, whichever you decide to do, please make sure that you follow this outline or wait for my video, because my video will match the outline. But I think it'd be a good idea to wait. Okay. So what you'll do is you will, these are the criteria. You can download a PDF of the criteria. To submit your essay, what you're going to do is you're going to submit your essay, you're going to go over to where it says essay submissions. Okay, click on essay submissions, and you'll again see the same criteria as what was there before. Oops, sorry about that. That's my daughter in the background. And what you'll do is you will click on the title here. Then you will again see all the essay criteria again. And let's stop there, and I'm going to make another video because I want everyone to pay attention to this, and I'm sure you're probably getting a little bit tired of my voice for this one.